Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One, O'Brate Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And we begin with an elimination game. It is the Big 12 versus the SEC. Nebraska and Florida meet for the second time this week. It's been a 40-win season for Nebraska. Florida just a game above 500. Winner gets Oklahoma State in the nightcap tonight. Would have to win that to force a regional final again in a Game 7. Here's how it unfolded in game number 1 of this regional. Kate Curlin with a leadoff home run, and the Gators able to flex their muscles a little bit. Liam Peterson, the freshman, was fantastic on the mound for Florida, and it turned into a comfortable victory for the Gators. One of the top home run hitting teams in the country. Ashton Wilson had 4 hits, including 3 doubles that earned him a move up in the lineup. And here's where we stand now. Oklahoma State with a 2-hitter last night against Florida from Brian Holiday, and the Gators playing for the postseason lives today after Nebraska eliminated the fellas from Niagara. So here we are. Tom Hart alongside Kyle Peterson. Great to be with you on this Sunday. Usually you get to this point in a tournament and the first question is pitching. So how do they both shake out in terms of strength today?
It's a little bit better for Nebraska. They've only used 4 arms to this point. And so I think if you look at it, Drew Crystal's probably the one that they're going to turn to. He went a decent amount on Friday, but should be good to go. For Florida yesterday, they used a lot, but it wasn't really their high leverage guys. So I think for both, at least in game 1, they're going to be okay.
Well, their MVP over the course of the season has been Jac Caglianone, both on the mound and at the plate. One of the best hitters in the country in terms of average and home runs. But on the mound, he got touched a couple of times. Back-to-back home runs twice for Oklahoma State, and it was a frustrating outing for Caglianone.
He had given up 4 home runs the entire season coming into this game. He gave up 4 home runs in the first 3 innings yesterday. And for Caglianone, it kind of set the tone. Hadn't been pitched to a lot, finally pitched to in the 9th, and he does, well, what he does. He's now the first guy in NCAA history to hit 30-plus home runs in 2 separate seasons. He got walked intentionally 3 times in the opener for the Gators. They're going to need Caglianone to be in the middle of it. And he generally is if he sees strikes. But the first time they faced Nebraska, he didn't see a lot of strikes.
Yeah, first in the SEC, back-to-back 30 bombs. Meanwhile, Gabe Swanson has been on fire for a minute now. This is a Nebraska team that ran through elimination side of the Big Ten tournament to take home the trophy. And Swanson has been at the heart of it. He can even draw birds in slow motion,
which very few can do. And for Swanson, it really got going in that Big Ten tournament. And it's continued over to here. Nebraska's, I would say, showed more thump here, which is understandable given the ballpark, than they have during the course of the season. Swanson has been a big part of it, and it's an offense that could really use him to stay on.
Side note, may just be Mother Nature. It looks like raindrops may be in the future. We'll see if we can do that dance and avoid it all. It is an elimination game between the Florida Gators and the Huskers of Nebraska. First pitch coming up next. The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? It's probably got a branded credit card with Husker Power on it. That's my guess. Here's Pierce Capola getting a start for Florida. He's looking for his first win of the season. They just eased him back into action after 2 years of injuries.
6 appearances this year, all have been starts for the 6'8" left-hander. You're really not sure what you're going to get. The longest of any of those 6 starts has been 3 2/3. That was last time out against Vanderbilt, but he did give up 4 runs. If he's right, it could be special. The ball comes out of his hand pretty well. Fastball can be up to 95, 96. The question is, can he keep it in the strike zone, and then how far can he go?
They'll start with Josh Overbeek, who is just 1 for 9 this regional. And Overbeek sends the first one due east, and that will end up in the seats. Wind is blowing out to left, huh?
Yeah, it's going to help the left. That's kind of been the way this ballpark has played the entire weekend.
Overbeek from Cincinnati, Ohio. Apparently has a pine tar addiction. Slather that helmet. Started his career at Pitt in 22, then matriculated to Cisco College in Texas last year. Had to deal with injuries, missed about a month before coming back in mid-March. That is nothing compared to Coppola's injury history. He went 783 days between appearances. 2-2. Strike 3 for Joshua Overbeek. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's how Nebraska lines it up. 70 home runs on the season. Just under 7 runs per game for Will Bolt's offense, led by Gabe Swanson. He's homered 3 times this week. Here's Case Sanderson DHing in this one. Homered yesterday against Niagara. He was third team all-conference, freshman from Nevada, Missouri. I think they're the Nevada Tigers, if I'm not mistaken.
The Griffins?
No, you're thinking of Northwest Missouri State. That is an entirely different school. That is actually a college.
So it's not the Griffins.
No.
But there are Griffins. They exist.
Oh, you know what? You might actually be thinking of Missouri Southern. Should be in the same neck of the woods. Nevada is the Tigers. Nailed it.
Are the Tigers.
I went to public school. Buddy Tyson Markham, a Nevada Tiger. 2 balls in a strike to Case. 3 balls in a strike to Sanderson. He's homered this week. Nebraska won 75 against Niagara. Send the Purple Eagles back to the Falls. It's a game that Nebraska led 4-0. Or pardon me, Niagara led 4-0 before the Nebraska bats woke up. Here's Josh Caron. He was hitless in that game. Junior from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. What they play in Omaha? 6 games in the Big Ten tournament, or 5?
They played 6. They had to win 5 in a row.
Yeah.
So got beaten the first one, won the next 5 to win the Big Ten. If you're Nebraska, the positive is you don't have to win 5 in a row here. You're going to win 4 to get out of it.
Been there, done that. High fly, deep right field. This will push Wilson to the wall, and it is caught up against the fence.
If this ball's hit to left, it's out because the wind is enough that it's going to help it. But what wind there is going to push it just a little bit further to the bigger part of the ballpark. I think Caron thought maybe he got it. Off the bat, I don't think he was the only one that thought he got it. But back to the wall out and right, Ashton Wilson had just enough room for the second out.
Gabe Swanson sends a ground ball foul of third. First pitch. Hello, squeeze play. Great to be part of your.
Oh, now they're coming around.
Beauty.
Now early today, they're trying to make a good impression on us.
They know they've been selling us short.
Yep.
Last few days.
It's not too late, but you got a little making up to do.
Swanson's got an OPS over 1,000. He's batting .500 this week, and that ball is gone. 2-run shot for Swanson. Huskers lead 2-0.
Swanson's going to start getting the Caglianone treatment here pretty quick. That's 4 home runs in this regional. He's hit 1 in every game. Well, at least 1. He had 2 yesterday. That's a slider that slid right back into the barrel. And for Swanson, man, he's figured something out the last few weeks. Hit a couple the Big Ten tournament, now 4 here in Stillwater, and the Huskers strike first.
This has been Columbus. And Coppola misses inside with the fastball. It's an aggressive approach for Oklahoma State against Jac Caglianone last night. Nebraska coming out swinging today after they were sleepwalking the first couple of innings against Niagara. They are now off of our audio on Squeeze Play, but let it be known our home run rate when they put us on Squeeze Play has got to be the best of any region.
Significant. Yeah, we're winning that. Even though the Squeeze players can't hear us right now, we're winning.
Seven home runs and 28 driven in for Columbus. That was the 5th home run allowed this season by Coppola. And a soft line drive hooked through the opposite way. Back-to-back hits for the Huskers. Brings Rhett Stokes to the plate.
2 strike approaches still do exist. Left on left right here. Columbus just shortens up. Had a 94-mile-an-hour fastball and shot a backside liner to keep the inning going.
Stokes 3 for 7 this week for the junior from Roswell, New Mexico. Launch to left, Shellnut into the corner. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul. The Nebraska dugout was already on the track. Will Bolt is asking Linus Baker about the challenge opportunities for this ball. I just don't know if there's going to be an angle that will change. I don't think it will.
No, and I mean, granted, there's some bias involved in this, but the best looks at it were from the Nebraska side because you're looking right down that first base line. They'll take a look at it, but I don't think you got a shot directly down the left field line to get a chance. If you don't, I don't know how you overturn this one.
This is an umpire review and not a challenge initiated by Linus Baker after Will Bolt asked him about it. I thought, and we do not have a shot right down the line, but it went off the bricks, the second level of the hitting facility down the left field line. And I thought it went off the bricks in foul territory, and based on the trajectory, it would have been pretty hard to be fair then foul behind the pole. Not impossible, but what did you think with your naked eye?
I actually thought it was fair, but I think this is a 50-50 ball right here.
I can't even see that. There it is.
I mean, Joshua Clark's a third base umpire. He's in a perfect spot. He's standing on the line, looking right down the line. But still that high above the fair pole, which it was. It went over it a ways. Unless you've got a shot right down the line, and even if you do that, I don't know if you can tell for certain on this one. By the way, they're taking audio again, and whether or not this is a home run or not, it's close enough.
We get deserved credit.
Yeah.
Hey, Squeeze Play, you come to us, we hit bombs. It's what we do.
Even if they're foul. but
Yeah.
still, that's viewership.
I mean, we've seen so many home runs when we've been on Squeeze Play. They're going to have to change the name of the show. There's no squeeze about it. Linus Baker has concluded, looking at review with help from the command center. And the call stands. The reaction of the Nebraska dugout showed the angle that they had.
Oh, they go over the rail pretty quick. Here they come, here they come, here they come. Wave it. Oh, no.
That is premature celebration. Foul ball the opposite way for Stokes. Stokes has 1 home run in the season. Hence the appreciation for his teammates when they thought it was gone. He's on the Big Ten All-Tournament team, which 7 for 15 in Omaha. His only home run of the year came on April 30th in a game against Creighton. I just love hitting in that ballpark, huh? 2-2.
They liked hitting in that ballpark in the Big Ten tournament.
Swing and a miss for Stokes. Heyman has to finish the throw. Gabe Swanson with a 2-run home run following a walk to Case Sanderson, and Nebraska strikes first. 2 other shots that could have been home runs. Shrug emoji. Cade Curlin will lead things off, but first he's got to face Jackson Brockett, who owns one of the few 9-inning no-hitters in college baseball this season, and the most recent one. He did it at home for his lone complete game of the year, and the junior lefty from Omaha made some history that day. 3-2, 3.57, a good whip. But the scouting report.
I think for Brockett, he's going to live about 90 with the fastball, but the slider is key, because if he can land a slider, the fastball is going to play up. And in the starts this year, the Brockett has been good, and there's been some. That's been the key. Land a slider, utilize the fastball off of it. Plenty help behind him. It's a Husker bullpen that is rested. If need be, they can go there early.
The no-hitter against Kansas State, who, by the way, is in the regional final in Fayetteville, came in Brockett's first start of the year. He K'd 12. He was perfect through 4 1/3 and a walk and an error. Was able to finish off the no-no. 14 home runs for the sophomore from Tampa, Cade Curlin, including one against Nebraska in the first swing of this tournament on Friday afternoon. Curlin finished 2 for 5. Ground ball to the right side. Rhett Stokes. Whoa, threw it wide. And they say did not get the tag on him. That'll be his 6th error of the season charged to Rhett Stokes.
And Brockett went back-to-back fastballs inside and missed with the first one. This time really got on the hands of Curlin. Plenty of time for Stokes right there, but up the line, tried to do a swipe tag as Columbus, but misses him, and Curlin's on there to start. Here comes Caglianone.
Well, the best hitters in college baseball homered again yesterday. First SEC player ever with back-to-back 30 home run seasons. And oh, by the way, he's also 7th in the country in average. He's hitting .413.
Double the amount of walks to strikeouts. He's walked 44 times, struck out 22. That strikeout number has gone down significantly this year. He's become a really patient hitter with as much power as anybody in the country.
And his splits are very good. He's hitting .408 against lefties. He tied the NCAA record with a home run in 9 consecutive games in April. He set the StatCast record, college or pro, for the longest home run ever hit as measured by StatCast. And they're awfully careful with him. It's a 4-pitch walk, puts Caglianone on, and brings Ashton Wilson to the plate. The debut for Wilson in this tournament on Friday. Batting in the 6th hole, he had 3 doubles and a home run. And to say he's had limited playing time this season would be an understatement.
It was 35 at bats. His first start of the year was in the last regular season series against Georgia. He started every game since.
Rocket misses low and in.
Yeah, his control this year has been really good. Coming in, he had walked just 7 and 35 1/3. I mean, that's a tick less than 2 per 9. I think it's kind of an unintentional, intentional walk to Caglianone, but now 2-0 here to Wilson.
In for a strike. Brockett was at Elkhorn South High School for 3 seasons before heading to the Atlanta suburb of Buford, Georgia for his senior year. First team All-State in Georgia. 7-0 with a .15 ERA. Played for the East Cobb Astros and won the inaugural 17 and under national team championship in Cary, North Carolina, USA Baseball Training Complex. Grounded up the middle, backhanded stop at second by Stokes, and a throw to get Wilson, but both Curlin and Caglianone advance. And here's Colby Shelton. First pitch strike. Out of play. What do you got on Elkhorn South?
I grew up a mile away from Elkhorn South, and it didn't exist then. It was a cornfield. Now it's not.
The baseman Overbeek playing in on the grass. Did you know they have 3 competitive show choirs?
I did not know that. No, I didn't.
Something to keep in mind.
I think I'd come all the way to Stillwater to find that fact out. But...
And 2 competitive jazz bands. 1 and 2 to Shelton. One-two pitch. Skips in front of the plate, and that's going to get Curlin home. Caglianone heads to third on a wild pitch. 4th wild pitch of the season thrown by Brockett.
We talked off the start about the importance of the slider today for Brockett. That was the slider right there, and it was one that Karen just couldn't get the body out. It's so far out there that you really can't block it. You just got to throw the glove at it. Hopefully it lands in the middle of it. It didn't, and honestly, fortunate. Looked like it got his shinnies. Fortunate for Nebraska, it didn't go in the dugout.
Would have brought Caglianone home automatically. Infield in now, 2-2. Through the drawn-in infield, and Florida has tied it on a Colby Shelton RBI single paired with the wild pitch.
Good job of keeping that top half in there just long enough for Colby Shelton. Got the slider, moving out away from him with a drawn-in infield. You got a much better chance to get it through. A little bit surprised that Nebraska's bringing the infield into the first right there. But even if not, unless you've got the shift on, I don't think you make that play regardless. Shelton didn't hit it hard, but he got enough. Put it in the right spot, and it ties it up for the Gators.
What's the winning point total today?
It's starting to feel like a lot. Give me 9.
All right. Luke Heyman at the dish, sophomore out of Longwood, Florida. Big dude, 6'4", 220. $14 home runs and 45 driven in. He came into the tournament hot. First pitch strike. With 5 home runs in his last 6 games coming into Stillwater. And this one's cranked to left field, but Swanson makes a catch with a little leap. Two down.
That was a slider again, and Heyman put a good move on it. That has backspin. It's in the seats that are about 30 feet beyond that left field line. Instead, had just enough topspin on it to keep it in the ballpark. And fortunate for the Huskers that Swanson was playing that deep. He didn't have much time to do anything. Takes a few steps back, jumps, and makes a good play out in the left to avoid what would have been extra bases.
First pitch pulled foul. Good hustle, Gabe Swanson. Shelton with 13 home runs on the season. He's driven in 47. Nothing at 2.
It's early, but the approach for Brockett against these right-handed Florida hitters, they're really trying to crowd him. Stick the glove side fastball on the inside part of the plate.
The lefty Shelnut has the lone hit. And Caglianone batting from the left side drew a walk. Shelton will dirty his uniform. He's 4 or 5 on the bases this year. Slash foul. I'm digging these Florida home unis, kind of Dodger-ish.
All whites, basic. Yeah. No names on the back.
Dodgers got the red numerals. Florida's got the orange numerals. Into center where Riley Silva awaits. Gators make some contact. They're helped by the wild pitch. And Florida pushes 2 runs across. With only 1 hit, but a couple of hard hit balls. We're tied at 2 through 1. It's been an amazing NCAA tournament so far. Some individual headlines. Charlie Condon homered again. He's got 36. Vance Honeycutt has been magnificent from North Carolina. Kalen Culpepper is becoming a household name. And Brian Holiday threw a 131 complete game last night.
Culpepper went cycle in the opener at Arkansas, then had a huge 3-run home run last night. K-State beat Hagen-Smith. I'll say that again. K-State beat Hagen-Smith.
It wasn't
yesterday.
Particularly close in terms of the damage to Smith.
No, but it was surprising. That approach, a lot had tried over the course of the year, but it hadn't worked for 2 minutes. K-State in a 2-0 game, they've never been to Omaha. There's a few that can say that right now. Kentucky in the 2-0 game, they've never been to Omaha.
It's the only SEC team, including Missouri, that has never made it to Omaha. Of course, Missouri did it when they were in the
Big
1950s. I think it might have been the Big Seven before Colorado joined. Norm Stewart was a pitcher on that team.
I found something today when I was peeking around, Tommy.
Uh-oh.
You know who the first black baseball player was in the Big Seven?
Give me a year.
1952.
Swing and a miss for Dylan Carey. One down. No, who was it?
Earl Woods at Kansas State.
How did you find that?
I'm not even really sure. I was looking at history of K-State baseball because I didn't think they had made it to Omaha, and there was this whole timeline of all the things in the history of K-State baseball. Earl Woods was the first black baseball player in the Big Seven, and it was at K-State. And if I get a quizzical look like that from Greg Campbell, I just accomplished something.
You win. Then again, Greg is not known for his Big Seven or Big Eight historical knowledge. Cole Evans is from Grand Island, Nebraska.
Mascot?
The Grand Island Islanders.
Yes.
Hey, pretty good. Just threw a dart, and it landed. Smoke to third, Dale Thomas. Would you have accepted barges?
I would not have. No, I don't really have any room for error with you. If it's not dead on, it's incorrect.
Here's Riley Silva, and the pitch is upstairs. You're talking about Earl Woods breaking the color barrier in the Big Seven. He was offered a contract by the Kansas City Monarchs, the Negro Leagues. Have you been to the Negro League Hall of Fame?
The Kansas City? Yeah, it's phenomenal.
18th and Vine. Pierce Capola looking for a clean inning, and the pitch is low and away. Four-pitch walk. It is the second walk of the game from Capola, and takes us back to the top of the order and Josh Overby. Overbeek struck out swinging in the first. By the way, programming update, ESPN Squeeze Play will now air on ABC for 2 hours starting at 3 Eastern.
That?
My supposition is that with the rain in Oklahoma City that softball has been interrupted.
Probably not yet. Uh-oh, look at
Pickoff, and Caglianone had to dig it out of the dirt. It turns into a stolen base for Riley Silva, his 32nd of the season.
You know he's going to run at some point when he gets on there. It's a Nebraska team that is aggressive on a base pass, but nobody more aggressive than Silva. 31 of 34 coming in against a left-hander who's going to take a little bit more time. He's 6'8". Caglianone gets it clean, he's got a chance because he's really good at making that play, but instead down in the dirt, doesn't handle it cleanly, and Silva still steals another one.
Softball has been pushed back to 6 Eastern. That is Florida and Alabama. All SEC showdown that will air on ESPN2. And then UCLA and Stanford to follow on E2. 2 balls and a strike. Who came in with a very deliberate walk to the mound to chat with Capola. There is no one throwing in either bullpen.
Huskers traveled all right down here.
Yeah, they did well.
A little over a 6-hour drive from Lincoln.
What's the drive from Omaha?
About 6:10. Thank you, Kansas Turnpike.
How many? What did you rack up in tolls?
I just drove right through them. At some point, they probably sent them to you, but.
Three balls and a strike to Overbeek. Kevin O'Sullivan said after last night's loss to Oklahoma State that they feel good with their pitching depth coming into this game. And if Coppola can't figure it out, it's going to get tested. I think both dugouts are probably also keeping a close eye on the weather, and that might impact their decision making as to when to get the next arm hot and use it. Launched down the left field line. This one is gone. Overbeek's 6th home run of the season, and Nebraska jumps back out in front. .359-foot shot. It came off the bat at 105. Second home run of the game for the Huskers.
6th of the year for Overbeek. And for Coppola, gets the first 2 guys of the inning out quick, then the 2 out walk to Riley Silva. 3-2 fastball out over the plate. Overbeek gets enough of it to give the Huskers a lead back.
And here's Sanderson, who drew a walk and scored in the first inning. And on the count, 0-1. Two balls and a strike now. Pardon me, 1-1 from Coppola to Sanderson. They got us full screen on squeeze play as they get prepped to go to the masses. National television, ABC, on squeeze play at 3 Eastern. Swing and a miss for Sanderson. That'll close the Nebraska half of the second. 4 strikeouts for Pierce Coppola, but two-run home runs allowed.
Swanson in the first. Now the leadoff hitter Overbeek here in the second. 2 2-run shots for the Huskers.
Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. 4-2 the lead. A pair of 2-run home runs for Nebraska. We are doing a dance with Mother Nature right now, and in between innings, this umpiring crew getting either the latest news on the Kardashians or a look at the radar. Dale Thomas leads off the second. Bottom third of the order for the Gators. Kind of flipped the script Nebraska has on Florida. This is a Florida team which is one of the best home run hitting teams in the country. Entered the tournament 7th in the nation.
During the regular season, Nebraska had 55 home runs. So 55 home runs in 53 games. Including the Big Ten tournament. So they played 6 there. They've played now 2 and change here. They've hit 17.
What? Hey, wait, how many games is that? 17 home runs over the last what?
8 and a hook. I mean,
they have found their power source, I suppose. A no-hitter Brackett threw against Kansas State was the first 9-inning no-hitter in 60 years for Nebraska baseball. Struck out 12 and an 8-0 win. No-hitter looks even more impressive now considering what K-State has done the last couple of days.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, the Wildcats 2-0 in Fayetteville.
Only 5 pitchers in the history of Nebraska baseball have thrown an individual 9-inning no-no. Line drive to left for Thomas. That one's going to get all the way to the fence, and Thomas will scoot his way towards second. Leadoff double. Anthony Kelly had the last no-hitter for Nebraska. That was 7-inning shot in 1981, so some history. Richard Geyer threw a 9-inning no-no in 1954, and he spent some time with Jackson Brockett after Jackson's no-hitter.
How cool is that? I like the setup, too. We got the Husker mug with the game ball.
First pitch strike to Brody Donay. Geyer struck out 10 against KU, and that was a 1-0 win for Nebraska back in the day. Dumped into right field off the bat of Donay. Dale Thomas around third. Here's the throw. Evans, and they'll keep him at third.
You take as much time as possible. And Taylor Blackett all the way down that line to hold up Dale Thomas. Puts the brakes on, then goes head first back in. He probably scores on this just because the ball was that far up the line, but nobody out in a 50-50 play at home plate. Probably a pretty good time to put the brakes on.
And Nebraska will take a visit. Catch up with Brockett. Rob Childress, longtime head coach at Texas A&M, and now the pitching coach for his former assistant Will Bolt. And in this time, Nebraska will scramble to the pen.
Nobody started down there. Now there's
9 of them.
A 9 spot that goes down to the pen. Honestly, both of these teams are in pretty good shape as far as their high leverage guys in the bullpen if they need to go to them. But you're also aware that whoever wins this game has to beat Oklahoma State twice.
What do you think's in the jug?
Apple juice. Got the turtle box down there. Bring the speaker with too.
Let's go. Rain won't hurt the turtle box. Here's Michael Robertson. And a soft line drive dumped into left field. Thomas comes home. 3 straight hits for Florida coming from the bottom of the order here in the second inning.
7, 8, 9 gets things started. Dale Thomas doubled. And Donay's backside single, and good piece right here from Robertson. Left on left, Michael Robertson, who honestly is in there more for the defense. He's an elite center fielder defensively, but just flips it into left center field, keeps the line moving. Now the Gators turn their lineup over.
Curlin reached on a throwing error from the second baseman his first time up, and there is room for Columbus in fair territory. Infield fly anyway, 1 down.
Well, Nebraska walked Caglianone in the first meeting between these two with a runner on first base. And I don't think they do it with runners on first and second, but his first time up, he didn't see a strike. Walked on 4 straight.
Homered yesterday, his 30th of the year. He walked in while Florida was taking batting practice, and I paused because Caglianone was just stepping into the cage. In the first swing I saw, he put it about 430 feet into the seats in right center. Estimate. Second Division I player, back-to-back 30 home run seasons since 1988. Wow. Roped down the line. It is fair and gone. And a 3-run home run from Jac Caglianone. 119 off the bat.
Oh, Lord.
Squeeze play, you're welcome.
Runes, you heard it right. 119 off the bat. We're going to round up. 118.9 goes north. 413, and it was at a 23-degree launch angle. I think he got that one right there. The javelin pit is out there in right center field, and this is hopping around somewhere where baseballs don't land. That's a different human right there. Caglianone can change a game with one swing. He just did it again.
Here's Ashton Wilson. A hurdler's going to show up for their workout tomorrow and wonder why there's a baseball back here. Man, oh man, Jac Caglianone, home run number 31. I think there are going to be some general managers, specifically in Cleveland. They're going to think long and hard about what this potential looks like at the next level. Guardians have the #1 overall pick, and many experts have Charlie Condon from Georgia slated in there right now.
Pretty good year to pick like 4th or 5th.
Save a little money.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw a hat over the top 4 or 5 and you're going to win. Travis Bazzana's had a huge year out at Oregon State. Obviously, Condon, Caglianone, Chase Burns, Hagen Smith. You get any one of those 5, and there's more, but you get any one of those 5 in the first round, you're winning. And he just wore it.
It has not been a pretty second inning for Jackson Brockett. It was a leadoff double and 3 straight hits for the bottom third of the order before the Curlin pop up and then the Caglianone 1-iron to right.
Can I change my winning run total number, or we
You said 9.
I said
you
9.
said 9 in the first inning.
9 doesn't feel like enough right now.
What if you put a teen behind that?
Maybe closer.
This place has been a launching pad in previous regionals. Up the middle, ranging under the glove of Stokes, headed to third is Ashton Wilson. And Kobe Shelton's got his second hit of the game.
This one didn't hit hard, but the movement up the middle kind of changes the way that Stokes is going to play it. Off the bat, you're thinking maybe a chance at a double play because everybody's moving to second base. Watch the route of Carey. He goes deep. If he goes to second base, I think the ball's played a little bit differently by Stokes, but instead, as he goes deep, Stokes knows the only chance he's got is to backhand and make a throw. Doesn't, it goes into center field. Florida has run Jackson Brockett out of this game here in the second inning.
Kyle Fralick will be the new pitcher for the Huskers, and he is jumping right into the fire. We have the second most home runs of any regional this weekend. There have been 19 hit here in Stillwater. And Florida's got a 2-run lead in this elimination game.
It's a light show early for Oklahoma State. Schubert, Earhart go deep in the first. Then Binge and Schubert go deep in the third. 7 runs for the Pokes last night, all on home runs.
It's pretty good. I thought a couple of those home runs that Owen Schubert hit may have ended up in Tulsa.
You go home run derby with Schubert and Caglianone, and you could sell some tickets.
Yeah.
Kyle Frelick on for the 20th time this year. Right-hander, primarily fastball slider to righties, fastball changeup to lefties. Fastball live about 90 miles an hour over the course of the year. He's been one of their better arms out of the bullpen.
Luke Heyman is the 8th batter of the inning for Florida. Top spin line drive his first time up to left. Then a smothering stop by Josh Caron behind the plate. The pitch. 2-1. Two and two. Crank to left field, and out of the glove of Swanson allows Wilson to score. Great effort by the Nebraska left fielder, but a dangerous play. If it gets by him, Gators are running wild. RBI single for Luke Heyman. 7-4 Florida.
That is 6 hits in the inning for the Gators. That one came off the bat at 100 miles an hour. Good breakout in left field by Swanson. He's there in time. It just hits him right in the palm. Pops out. Good base run at 2. Ashton Wilson had gone back to tag even though it was a line drive, so he's going to score anyway. Instead, it drops as another hit.
Gators bat around. This is Tyler Shelnut. Looks at a first pitch strike. Husker starter Jackson Brockett allows 6 hits, 6 runs over an inning and a third. Actually just touched for his 7th, excuse me, after he left the game. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tyler Shelnut, who is 2 for 9 in this regional. Two years at Santa Fe Community College before coming to Gainesville. Now his 2nd season with the Gators. Frelick misses low. Into center field, Silva drifting. 2 down. Two down with 2 aboard, and Dale Thomas coming to the plate for the 2nd time this inning. 5 runs already in for Florida. Thomas doubled to start this inning. Nothing in 1 to Thomas. .212 average, couple of home runs. Gators have had to work their way through some injuries, especially late in the season, and that created some room for Thomas. Also created space for Ashton Wilson in right field, and Ty Evans was lost with an injury. Curveball stayed up, 2-2. Bottom of the third is what got this party started. Thomas, Doane, and Robertson all came up with hits, and now a strikeout to close the inning, but not before Florida pushes 5 runs across, including 2 on this shot. Remember this name, Jac Caglianone.
Yeah, you may have heard of him before. You'll hear from him again. How about 119 off the bat? That usually ends well, and it did for the Gators right there.
For the pantry. Awesome.
7-4, Florida with the lead. A workout. Oklahoma State just chilling.
Yeah, they're pretty tight. Pretty tight before the nightcap.
Wasn't enough. That's what happens. You think it's only going to show up on the video board, and I don't know, a couple thousand in the ballpark today, but broadcast it live on American sports television. What a performance by the Cowboys against Florida yesterday, or last night I should say. Brian Holiday was magnificent. 131 pitches.
CG 2-hitter. One of them was a Caglianone solo home run in the 9th, but at that point it was all over but the singing.
Here's Josh Caron. So Coppola afforded a lead for the first time.
LSU was in trouble earlier today. Now 13-6 LSU over the Wofford Terriers in the 9th. LSU would have to beat North Carolina twice to get out of that one.
Fly ball foul. SEMO.
Yeah.
3-0 over Arkansas in the 4th inning. JMU sent South Carolina home 2-0. Strikeout number 5, and that brings Gabe Swanson to the plate.
He's on a heater.
Slippy, Slappy, Swanson.
We'll go with it. We like postseason, by the way, if we're Mr. Swanson, since a Big Ten tournament. And that was 9 games ago. 34 at bats, 7 home runs. We are on a heater, folks.
I'd say. Well, Bolt said he was unconscious.
Well, don't wake him up.
The curveball to left. His 4th home run of this tournament. First time up.
He had 1 home run during the regular season. A home run.
And he looks at strike 3, 6th K for Coppola, who's at the top of the zone.
It's a pretty good job by Heyman, too, to get above it. So often, guys, as they're growing up, when you go to frame, you catch it and try to bring it back into the zone. You start above it, and that glove movement is going down the entire time, starts low, and then he's still going to bring it down, but it's all one motion, makes it look better. The home plate umpire, that looked like it was there for me.
Ben Columbus out of North Vancouver, British Columbia, singled his first time up, and the Nebraska fans are just giving it to Joe Harris behind the plate. (2-0). Heyman having an issue.
He used it all up on that frame of third strike. Now he's having a hard time catching it.
Four-pitch walk. Coming with 2 outs to Ben Columbus.
It's the second inning in a row that Coppola got the first 2 guys out of the inning, and then follows it with a 2-out walk.
Here's Rhett Stokes. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Coppola misses with the breaking ball away. 1-0. Stokes, a junior from Roswell, New Mexico, is on the Big Ten tournament team. 7 for 15 over that tournament championship run for the Huskers.
Did you watch the end of that A&M Texas game last night, by the way? Did you make it all that long?
Yeah, I found a way to stay up.
It was a little electric at Bluebell last night.
There may still be bubbles flying. 1-2. The atmosphere here was sensational in Fayetteville, in Bryan College Station. They were hanging off the rafters at Bluebell Park. Strike 3 on Stokes. Coppola K's the side, even though he walked one, and he is K'd 7 through 3. Pitching with the lead is Gators up 7-4 as we go to the home half of the third. Men's College World Series comes your way starting June 14th. And this Florida team made it to the championship series last year. It wasn't a clean trip, but a Florida program overall that really got hot late in the year. Earned the chance to host.
They also lost the second game of the regional last year. Fought back through the losers bracket in Gainesville and ended up playing the last game of the year.
6'5" catcher Brody Donay at the plate for Florida. DHing in this one. He was behind the plate yesterday. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We have seen 19 home runs hit in this regional, second most. Just 2 behind the folks in Fayetteville. And Arkansas trailing SEMO in the 4th, and the Redhawks threatening to push a couple more across. Straight back.
A 4-0 SEMO right now. Bottom of the 4th, so SEMO's the home team. 2 on, 2 out. For the fighting Andy Sawyers, who used to be an assistant coach at Nebraska.
Swing and a miss for Donay. Andy was an assistant in the first ever matchup between Nebraska and Florida, their school record 57 win season, and they caught the Gators in Omaha, lost to them head-to-head, and then got eliminated by Arizona State. Will Bolt was an assistant on that team. Here's Michael Robertson. 57 wins. I think they went 57-15.
Nebraska?
Yeah.
72 games.
Yep. One ball, one strike. That included a Hawaii swing against Hawaii Elo, and I think they played 6 games out there, give or take.
I think that's when you get the freebie.
If you go to the islands?
Yeah, then they didn't count. They could do that every year.
Yeah. The stats
twice
count,
a year.
Right?
Stats count. You're still in Hawaii.
Fly ball to left, and Swanson handles it, 2 down.
The shots are still playing.
Yep.
Coastal knocks out High Point, but High Point, first time in the tournament, got their first ever win yesterday in the postseason, but Coastal will play on.
Coastal and Clemson tonight. Doug Kinsmore Stadium. 2 down, and Cade Curlin coming up. He is 0 for 2. We've had weather delays in college baseball today, impacting Tallahassee and Athens. And Norman, Duke, and Oklahoma have been delayed, and that is not too far from us, so we keep knocking on wood or Formica or whatever's in front of us. Blown away, 2-0. Curlin 0 for 2, and he cranks it to center. Silva to the track. It's our first 1-2-3 inning of the game. 3 complete. Florida with the lead. We'll chat with Nebraska head man Will Bolt when we return. We've got a 7-4 lead for Florida as we head to the 4th inning, and down in that Nebraska dugout, Will Bolt kind enough to put the headset on and spend some time with us. Will, thanks for the time. How's your pitching shape up at this point for the remainder of this game?
Well, we obviously had to go to the pen earlier than we wanted to. You know, Frelick's given us a little bit of a stop here, and you know we got to just make sure we don't let this left-hander settle in.
Well, we showed the splits with Gabe Swanson. He had 1 home run during the regular season. He's got 7 in the postseason. What clicked?
Well, he just about a month ago, he started feeling something that, you know, would allow him to be a little more sudden in the box. When I say sudden, just quicker. You know, he's kind of been searching a little bit mechanically and just it's kind of taking a toll on him mentally. And he found something about a month ago that's worked for him, and it's clicked, and he's been on the barrel ever since.
Have you convinced him to share that with everybody?
Well, if only it were that simple. Everybody's a little bit different, but you know, Gabe is, you know, he knows the strike zone, and he's hitting all different types of pitches, and man, it's been fun to watch.
Will, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Yep, you bet, guys.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks.
To Dylan Carey, who struck out his first time up. I'd imagine there's some guys that want to go rub that bat.
Yeah, he's got a lot of company at meals right now. What exactly are you doing different?
Loudly hit to left field, but finds the leather of Tyler Shelnut. One down with Cole Evans coming to the plate.
Pierce Coppola is an out away from his longest collegiate outing. And I think if you're Florida, I mean, if you can figure out a way to get 4 or 5, that's a huge win.
Coppola showed up on campus with great promise. He was in the starting rotation opening weekend, but suffered an injury, then another. Missed 2 years of baseball, essentially. And they just tried to ease him back in this year, knowing that if they're going to make a run, they're going to need the big lefty to produce. One ball, one strike to Cole Evans. And even though it wasn't a smooth season for Florida, especially with some tough midweek losses, never seemed to be much panic.
may have been a little panic behind the scenes Monday at about noon Eastern. Just making sure that your name shows up somewhere.
Maybe even 12:28 when your name had not yet shown up. Two and two to Evans. Florida 29-28 overall, 13-17 in SEC play, the #1 strength of schedule in college baseball. Taking on a 40-win Nebraska team and a winning record in the Big Ten. Swing and a miss for Evans. Strikeout number 8 for Pierce Coppola. On the chat with Kevin O'Sullivan, whose team has the highest ERA under his watch. I think to your point with Liam Peterson in game 1 and Coppola today, guys who have found their stride perhaps at the perfect time. 9-hole hitter Riley Silva. Silva is a baseball magnet. He's been hit by a pitch 26 times this year. And here's Kevin O'Sullivan to chat with Coppola. 74 pitches into his outing.
This may be a conversation where you say, listen, big boy, this is your last guy regardless. Doesn't matter what it is. You get out of it, that's fine. You can see these pitching numbers you're just not used to seeing. There's still some swing and miss, but they have not thrown as many strikes, which they always throw strikes. ERA dead last in the SEC coming in. That's never happened. And a whip that's second to last in the SEC. Generally, Florida is pitching, defense, and you know the offense is going to be pretty good. This year, defense has been good. Offense has hit a lot of home runs. Staff has been inconsistent.
Silva's a good bunter, and to that point, Dale Thomas is 5 steps in front of the bag. One and 0. And that bunt stays in foul territory. And to your point about the Florida pitching over the years, especially guys who have had success at the next level, a handful of pitchers on opening day rosters, including Alex Faedo in Detroit and Dane Dunning, Texas.
Brady Singer just up the road.
Singer was first rounder in 18 after their national championship in 17. Shelton retires Silva. It's a 1-2-3 frame. Might be the end of the line for Coppola. If it is, that was a great start. See if he comes back out for the 5th. He has struck out 8, and Florida's got a 3-run lead. Peterson, it's a 7-4 lead for Florida. We got Finn O'Sullivan in the stands, hat on backward, took some BP. How's your son swinging the bat these days?
You know, he likes to hit more than he likes to play defense, I can tell you that.
How about the pitching that you've gotten from Pierce in this outing so far?
You know, the last 2 innings have been really, really good. Obviously, he gave it the 2 runs in the first and the second, you know, both with 2 outs. But, you know, this is only, I think, his 5th start of the year, so he's still working his way back through, but really pleased on how he's been throwing the ball the last couple innings for sure.
What about the decision to move Wilson up to the 3-hole? I mean, take us through the thought process when you see a guy that's that hot, and then the balance of do I move him or not?
Yeah, I mean, kind of contemplated that after Friday night. Obviously, he had the great game against Nebraska on Friday, and, you know, it was a couple things. You know, we're trying to play the hot hand, and obviously Jac's been getting walked an awful lot. So, and we get a chance to split up those lefties, too. So it's just a matter of just trying to play the hot hand.
Hey, Sully, before we let you go, for folks who have not seen Jac Caglianone, how do you explain the raw power that this guy has? That was 110 off the bat.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it before. We've had some really good players obviously come through here, but it's just different. And you know, he does a lot of other things that people don't quite maybe recognize as much as I do, you know, because I see him every day. But defensively, he's outstanding, and you just saw him get down the line. He's at least an average runner, you know, in terms of what they're looking for at the next level for the draft. So, you know, his ability to run the bases is really good. He always makes smart decisions, and Obviously, he's got power and he can hit, but he's got twice as many walks as he does strikeouts this year as well.
Thanks for your time. We appreciate you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Here's Ashton Wilson at the plate.
So he was all the way out in front of that, or at least it looked like he was all the way out in front of it, and it still came off the bat at 110. It's power that you can't teach, and that's why the pro side is so. There's a lot of things to be intrigued in, but they don't make many like that dude. I mean, look at that swing. Like, he was fooled, and it came off the bat at 110.
All right, so let's think best power hitters to come out of college baseball in the last, I don't know, 10 years or so.
Pete Alonso's on that list.
Uh-huh.
I mean, especially based on what he's done in pro ball.
What, he hit 51 home runs as a rookie, something like that. I mean, is it silly to compare him to Aaron Judge?
He's had a better college career than Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, I mean, his coming out party was kind of at the home run derby. And what was then TD Ameritrade? No, I don't think it is at all. You imagine him in Yankee Stadium with pull-side power?
Wow. The Yankees had one of the top 5 picks. We could picture it.
Yeah, he'd not last into the Yankees.
52 home runs, Alonso's rookie season for the former Gator. Jac Caglianone. And nice communication from Overbeek to take over. And he'll take it right back to the dugout. Back-to-back 1-2-3 frames worked by Fralick. 7-4 Gators. O'Brien Stadium in Stillwater, and get out your phone, scan that QR code. That will take you to ESPN Plus, and you can have access to all of the games, including squeeze play, expanded coverage, and you can see the Arkansas fans with beer hats right now. The base is loaded in the 5th inning against SEMO, and about to get rowdy. And the Cowboys, sir, what do you have to say for yourself? And ready to take the field for the nightcap to take on the winner of this one. Here's Joshua Overbeek. Two-run home run for Overbeek in the second. One hopper, Curlin. One down, and that will bring Case Sanderson to the plate. Well, I got an answer on the Nevada questions, and you found one answer. The Griffins.
Summer ball team.
Yeah, well, I was going to give it a little bit. Griffins also the mascot at Missouri Western up St. Joe. Bearcats Northwest Missouri State. Nevada High School is the Tigers, but the summer ball team, as you were correct,
the Griffins. Apology accepted.
I don't remember apologizing. There was an old ballpark down in Southwest Missouri, old wooden structure. I think it was in Nevada. They hosted spring training games way back in the day. Mickey Mantle played there inside. Up and away. into left center field. Long run, diving attempt, and underneath Michael Robertson. Headed to second is Sanderson, and he is in head first with a 1-out double.
Well, Sanderson was a spark plug yesterday. 3-run shot in the third inning when Nebraska was trailing Niagara 4-0, and that kind of started this Husker offense. Let's see if he does it again right here. 1 out, little flare into left center field. Robertson, who can really go get it out in center, can't quite get to it, and heads up base runner by Sanderson. Everything in front of him, sees that ball get away. He's in there with a 1-out double.
Kevin O'Sullivan out to have a word with Pierce Coppola. There's a right-hander getting loose in the Gators pen.
I think this is going to be it. Third time around, you get Karen and Swanson coming back to back with a runner on base. For Coppola, he's already set a career high in innings and strikeouts today. The longest he had ever gone in a game was 3 2/3. Most strikeouts 6. This looks like it'll be it. 4 1/3 innings, 8 strikeouts for Coppola, and he worked into the 5th inning.
So Coppola will exit and hand the baton to Fisher Jameson out of the Florida bullpen. Four and a third for Coppola, and a career high 8 strikeouts. Gators clinging to a 3-run lead. Hey, dummies. Let's take it back to the first matchup ever between Nebraska and Florida on the diamond, the 2005 College World Series at Rosenblatt Stadium. Adam Davis with a 2-run home run in the first inning for Florida. Jeff Corselletti went 4 for 5 with 3 doubles and drove in a pair. And current Braves radio analyst Darren O'Day threw 4 1/3 scoreless, picked up the final out. Florida won that game 7-4. Handing Nebraska its 14th loss of the season in a 57-win year. Huskers would lose their next game to Arizona State and bow out of Omaha. Score here is 7-4. Serendipity. First pitch from Fisher Jameson is a strike to Josh Caron.
Jamerson, you're going to see a ton of sliders, man. More sliders than fastballs. He kind of surprised Karen there with the first pitch fastball. Nebraska knows the book. You better sit slider because you're going to see him.
Low and away to Karen. Karen is just 1 for 10 this week. He was the most outstanding player of the Big Ten tournament, making 1 for 11. 2 down, and the smoking hot Gabe Swanson coming to the plate. Homered twice against Niagara Saturday. Previously homered against Florida on Friday. and they're going to take the teams off the field. Mother Nature intervenes. It is a lightning delay. Any lightning strikes within an 8-mile radius cause a delay of 30 minutes, I believe. We'll try to clear it up. We are the 5th different region will be impacted by weather today, joining Knoxville, Norman, Athens, and Lexington. More on the other side with Florida up 7-4.
What is it?
Geico can help cover cars, homes, motorcycles, and even accordions.
Pretty liberating knowing Geico can help insure our car.
But lightning in the vicinity has us in a weather delay here at O'Brate Stadium. The good news is they haven't put the tarp on the field, so this could just be a lightning delay. Allow us to get restarted sooner rather than later. Try to find some more details for you and share that with you in a moment. But right now, nothing going on here in Stilly. The field and the teams to warm up. Until then, just be like us. Kick back, watch some college baseball. Find Kyle Peterson. Somebody send out the APB. We got to find that dude. 7-4, the Florida lead in this rain delay over Nebraska. We'll keep you posted and try to find Kyle. going to conclude in mere moments. This game will resume at 5:40. We'll be back on the air at 5:38 to walk you through what it all means. This an elimination game between Nebraska and Florida, with the Gators holding on to a 7-4 lead and a delay that's going to end up lasting about 2 hours. But we will put the ball in the air in just a minute. Be back in a few to get you set for the finale. Restart in Stillwater in a delay that's going to last about 2 hours by the time it is said and done. Florida with a 7-4 lead in the top of the 5th inning. Tom Hart alongside Kyle Peterson. They were able to dry the seats off, crack a cold one, and get ready for this one. Elimination game between 2-seed Nebraska, 3-seed Florida. Gators trying to go to 2-0 against the Huskers in this tournament, and the winner gets Oklahoma State. So 2-hour delay. The pitching situation for Florida looks to be okay. It looks like Fisher Jameson's going to be back on the mound.
We only faced one guy, and in an ideal world for Florida, you wanted Jameson back out there, and now he makes a slow walk out, so he will be there. Just quick kind of inside baseball stuff. The fact that you set your timer when this delay started and then went back to it right there, like that's pro stuff. I do not like giving you compliments. That was pretty good.
Well, kind of a big deal, making me feel good. See if the booth's big enough for the head. Let's take a look at this game recap, and a good start for this Nebraska team as the visitors in the first inning. A 2-run home run from Gabe Swanson, and the Huskers get another one from Joshua Overbeek. This was in the 2nd inning. So a pair of 2-run home runs. Looked like Nebraska was cruising. In fact, it was 4-2 in the bottom of the 2nd. The bottom 3rd of the order all got on base. Jac Caglianone made him pay with a laser to right field. 2-run home run. It was 119 miles an hour off the bat for the slugger. Meanwhile, Pierce Coppola did his job. 8 Ks over 4 1/3.
Set career highs for innings and strikeouts for Coppola, who, I mean, coming into this, had pitched less than 20 innings in his college career, and he's in his 3rd year. Battled injuries, but really when they needed him most, he was at his best for this Nebraska offense. We talked about it before the rain showed up. 55 home runs in 53 regular season games. Now 17 home runs in less than 9 games in the postseason, and that's one of the biggest reasons why. We'll see him due up first.
That is a power surge for this Nebraska team. What do you think Fisher Jameson's been doing for the last 2 hours?
Crosswords is usually what relievers do. Big crossword guys.
Not connections or Sudoku?
No, that's kind of next level stuff. Stick to crosswords. Not the Sunday New York Times. Today you'd be kind of, that doesn't make sense. It's going to kill your confidence before you go back in there.
I feel like I started my timer about approximately 4 minutes late. So at the end, this is going to be a 2-hour and 3-minute delay, according to the numbers scrolling through my phone. Ready to go. Gabe Swanson, a 2-run home run in the first. And the resumption of this game with a 3-run Florida lead. And Jameson misses up and in. Nebraska, a 40-win team against 21 losses. Florida 29-28 on the year. 1-1.
That's a slider there, and Jameson throws a ton of them generally. But the first guy he faced, Josh Caglianone, it was all fastballs. So kind of went against what you see in the book.
Ground ball up the middle, ranging to his left is Shelton, and that will close the inning. No runs, a hit, and 1 left on. I am overworked. Can we go to break, please? I've said 14 words in the last 2 hours. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. It has turned into a very nice afternoon here in Stillwater. And when we sat through that lightning delay, there wasn't a ton of rain, but man, was there some wind. Huskers go with Casey Dice out of the bullpen, and after the rain delay, 6'4" right-hander from Webster, Florida, facing his home state team.
For Dice, been a mainstay out of this Husker bullpen, but threw just once in the Big Ten tournament. In fact, he's thrown just twice since the 17th of May. 23 hits and 21 2/3. Fastball's upper 80s, may touch 90. Changeup is his best off-speed pitch, but really doesn't throw it to righties, just lefties.
And Luke Heyman looks at a first pitch strike, 0-1. Heyman is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Wind gusts during the delay were above 40 miles an hour. The flagpole's got a real workout. It has calmed considerably. And the temperature in the mid 70s.
And when you can hear the flags and they're 450 feet away, it's blowing pretty good. Strikeout. Ooh, did he foul it off? I thought he swung and it hit him. He must have got a piece of it.
He may have actually gotten it after the bat went all the way through. Did he tip it at on the follow through?
Got a piece fouled off himself, and now he'll wear one off himself. That looked like either a backup breaking ball or a changeup right there. So after he just about struck out Heyman, Casey Dice hits the first guy that he'll face.
So a runner aboard for Tyler Shelnut. Jackson Brockett started this game for Nebraska. Gave up 6 earned over an inning and a third. Then Kyle Fralick followed and was perfect in 2 2/3. Well, nearly perfect. Allowed 1 hit in 2 2/3. And now Dice. And remember, whoever survives this one gets Oklahoma State tonight. And would have to beat Oklahoma State twice before this tournament is over to advance to next weekend. Shelnut drops a bunt down the third base line, but it goes foul. Tyler Shelnut, senior out of Lake City, Florida, Fort White High School. And playing junior college ball in Gainesville last year, was a two-way player. A couple of years ago in 22 season, he tied the Santa Fe school record with 19 home runs in 45 games. Seven home runs as a Gator last year for Shelnut, up to 13 this season, including a monster go-ahead 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th. Help Florida win its series against A&M. Swing and a miss. 1 down.
A little different look from Dice. It's low 3/4, and that fastball you know is going to move arm side. That one had pretty decent carry too. Shelnut swung right underneath it. First out that Dice records as a strikeout.
And here's Dale Thomas, who came to the plate twice in the second, went 1 for 2, a double to start the inning and a strikeout to end the inning. Big cut. What did we learn during the 2-hour delay around the country with college baseball this afternoon?
Well, Arkansas got knocked out, so we've got 2 1s out, but Arkansas the only top 8 national seed. All the other top 8 national seeds started 2-0.
Chopped off his foot.
Texas on the brink of elimination right now. What were the other close ones? LSU was down for a lot of it, came back to beat Wofford.
So LSU ECU tonight.
LSU North Carolina tonight.
Oh, that's right. I was
Evansville ECU.
Wrong
Evansville,
state.
the only
Right
4
state,
seeds. It's 2-0.
Aces. Foul territory right side for Ben Columbus. 2 down. Here are your headlines. James Madison shut out South Carolina, send the Gamecocks packing. Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, said it could be a newsy Monday in Columbia. That LSU deficit was 5. And the Sycamores scored 13.
Where's Indiana State? Kentucky?
That's right next to Ohio.
Thank you. And Kentucky.
Donay sends a chopper foul of third. Kentucky was in a bit of a weather delay trying to start their game tonight. Multiple sites impacted by Mother Nature today. How rude. Modified shift on for Donay. He looks at his strike. 1-2. Nearly hit him. Heyman's the runner at first. This ball flipped foul right back to the press box.
Well, Arkansas was the 5 national seed, so if they had won, they were going to host a super. Since they haven't, Virginia is opposite them. They will play Mississippi State. State would have to beat them twice.
Up the middle, base hit for Brody Donay. His second hit of the game. How about Mississippi State's Dakota Jordan? A 450 some odd foot blast yesterday. And did he go 5 for 5 today?
Yeah, broke a 1 for 26 string with a walk-off 2 days ago. And then today goes 5 for 5.
He has been through the grind. Good to see. Nine-hole hitter Michael Robertson is 1 for 2 in this one, and he lifts it to left field. Swanson. No runs to hit, a couple left on. We're back and rolling after a 2-hour rain delay. Florida leads Nebraska 7-4 as we head to the 6th. In Stillwater, let's take a look at a snapshot of Nebraska's season. This is a Huskers team. 40 wins in the season. They've been good away from home. They have 22 wins away from their home ballpark. Big Ten tournament champs. Pitching's been good and at their best against their best. 11-3 versus tournament teams.
Now they're going to see if they can get the offense going. Gators get 2 in the first, 5 in the second. There's been no scoring for either team since.
Here's Ben Columbus. Columbus is 1 for 1. Are you like me? Are you wondering why Ben Columbus wears number 10 and not, say, I don't know, either 14 or 92?
Is this a hockey reference? Is that where we're going?
No. What? No. Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
No, to clarify, I'm not like you, and I was not thinking that way.
What can I ask? Where you were going? What could it have been from a hockey perspective?
Well, for a minute I thought that Gretzky was 92, but he was 99, so that really wouldn't have made any sense. There was actually a piece of thought process that went into that, and he's Canadian, so.
All right.
There's your reasoning.
Number to Joe Sakic. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They've resumed in Norman. Oklahoma leads Duke 3-1 through 2 innings. They took a while to even get started today.
UC Santa Barbara has eliminated San Diego, so they'll play Oregon tonight. The Ducks are 2-0 there.
And we say goodbye to perhaps the best uniform that we've seen in the tournament, the Toreros baby blue.
And the all blue is pretty good.
Leadoff walk puts Columbus aboard. Fisher Jamison has faced 2 batters since the delay. Got Gabe Swanson to ground out to end the 5th, and then a walk to start the 6th at Columbus. And here's Rhett Stokes. Stokes hit 11 triples as a junior college freshman. That is flying. Double play depth on the infield and the fastball way up.
Nebraska has 8 triples total all year. 11 by one guy at any level is a ton.
The Whoopers have arrived. Ball's in a strike to Stokes. Two and two. Grounded to the left side, but foul. Just to give you a heads up, in about 3 minutes, our game is going to shift to ESPN Plus. If you stay on the SEC network, you'll be given the Tennessee game as they look to start on time. We are in a 6th inning of a 7-4 game, and we'll be going away. Fly ball down the right field line, a foul. So get your head start, fire up ESPN Plus, and you won't miss a pitch. Otherwise, you can see Tony Vitello's team try to win its region. To the left side and knocked down by Thomas. Has no play, and the Huskers have a pair aboard and nobody out in the 6th.
Well, Thomas does all he can right now. He's got to give ground, because if not, he's almost got no chance to make that play. And then when he spins up, probably makes the right decision here. You can't throw Stokes out at first base. There's no reason to try to make the throw. Only bad things can happen after that. Leadoff walk, infield single. Kevin O'Sullivan makes his way out, and that'll do it for Fisher Jamison.
Jamison done. Ryan Slater will be the new pitcher for Florida. Don't forget, we're going to go to a break here for this pitching change. Just kidding.
Geico can help when you're locked out with their easy app and 24/7 help.
Dad, you don't.
ESPN Plus. SEC Network will feature the Tennessee Volunteers and Southern Miss Golden Eagles in the regional final in Knoxville. Ryan Slater making his 30th appearance, junior from Palm Harbor, Florida. Inheriting 2 runners and nobody out in the 6th inning in a 3-run game.
He's been a workhorse. Nobody's appeared in more games this year than Slater has. Well, he and Fisher Jamison both now at 30. Comes in with some traffic, though. 3-run lead for the Gators. Huskers have their first 2 on for Slater. Kind of goes as the slider goes. He'll throw it more than anything else. He's got right, left, due up if everything stays the same. And Carey, Evans, and Riley Silva.
Dylan Carey 0 for 2, a strikeout and a line out. Carey's 3 for 9 through 2+ games in this regional. And he loops it down the left field side and fair. That'll get home Columbus. Stokes behind him will be pointed home from third. And Nebraska's got a 2-run double from Dylan Carey, his 4th hit of this tournament. And it's a 1-run game.
Well, Dylan Carey knows the scouting report, especially against right-handers. Slater's going to throw a bunch of sliders, and he was sitting on that one to start. Didn't necessarily barrel it up. Gets it off the end of the bat a little bit, but puts it in a spot that nobody can get to. First pitch slider. Carey deposits it down the left field line. Good enough to score 2 more and get the Huskers back within 1.
Here's Cole Evans. The former Islander looks at the first pitch up, 1-0. Evans making his first start this week here in right field today. Corners are in and missed that one back to the backstop. 1-1. The lady sitting right behind home plate said field goal's good.
She wearing red?
Yeah, she happens to be wearing red, yeah. One must have been wide right. Opportunity for the Huskers, down 1 in the 6th inning. Pitch to Evans. Rounded foul with hands. All business. Make a play, coach him up, keep it moving. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss on the slider.
That's a rough at bat. Try to get the bunt down. Can't get the bunt down. And strike out swinging. Base runner still sitting out at second base. I know there's one out here, but don't be surprised if Silva's bunting here again.
He's pretty good at it, isn't he?
He is pretty good at it.
Offered at it, 0-1. This one's up the third base line and trickles off the edge and foul.
That's the only chance the Gators had right there. That was perfect until it just rolled foul. deadened it, put in a spot that nobody was going to make a play, and heads up by Slater on the mound just to give it a chance to roll foul.
Slider low, and Heyman couldn't block it, and easy extra 90 for Dylan Carey.
He didn't hesitate on this one, as it didn't get away from Heyman all that far, but good secondary lead by Dylan Carey out at second, and then he didn't wait. Read it down in the dirt. You're going to see him leave your pitcher, but all the momentum was moving that way. He could see that it was to the third base side of Heyman. Plenty of time to get into third base here with one out.
It's ruled a pass ball, and
the ball's in the dirt, wasn't it?
It was. Also got him on the undercarriage, so Heyman had a little bit of time from Joe Harris. Infield in. Tying run 90 feet away. Two and two. Big strikeout to dispatch Silva. 2 down, and back to the top of the order now with Joshua Overbeek coming up. Overbeek's already homered this game.
Back-to-back strikeouts, both on the slider. This time Silva, the 1-strike bunt just goes foul, and slider goes right underneath the barrel.
Heyman tried to bring that back up. Left side, Thomas and Shelton chase. Put that on the gram, sir. Overbeek's home run in the second was his second hit this week. Heading to count 2-1. One of 19 home runs that have been hit here in the Stillwater Regional, second most behind the 24 hit in Fayetteville. To Thomas, only needs one. Nebraska strands a tying run at third, but get a couple more before that. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 left on to the bottom of the 6th. Florida up by 1. Six runs, 6 hits, an error for Nebraska. 7 runs on 8 hits for Florida. Bottom of the 6th. Top of the order, Cade Curlin, followed by Jac Caglianone, and then Ashton Wilson for the Gators. Three and 0. 4-pitch walk in front of the most dangerous hitter of this region.
Yeah. Not exactly what you would want to draw up right here.
Caglianone scored 2 runs. He knocked into with a line drive home run in the second, and he sends this one the opposite way. It will get to the fence on a short hop. Racing to third is Curlin, and Caglianone into second. They're going to send Curlin home. The relay is a hair late, and Caglianone is driven in his third of the game. Cade Curlin scoots home all the way from first base.
Jac Caglianone walked his first at bat. Here's the next 3 bats. Home run to right, 119 off the bat. Ground out to second, 110 off the bat. Double to left center, 106 off the bat. I'd say he's seen it pretty well right now. And the first time that Nebraska played Florida, they really didn't give him much of a chance to hit at all. Intentionally walked him 3 times. Today, he's done his damage.
Ashton Wilson tried to bump and hit him while he was in the batter's box. They pitched around him in the first, that walk you're talking about, even with the runner on, and both of them came around to score later in the inning. When he got to the plate in the second, it was already 2 on in front of him. In the fourth, the bases were empty, and in the sixth, a runner on. This bunt trickles foul. Ashton Wilson had a monster game against Nebraska on Friday. 4 for 4, 3 doubles, and a home run off the scoreboard. But Wilson is hitless since then, 0 for 6. Grand Canyon leads Dallas Baptist 12-10. There's some high-scoring games out there. That game's in the 9th. Here's Stokes. 1 out. And the Longhorns are down to their last at bat, trailing the Ragin' Cajuns 10-2. Texas on the brink of elimination. Colby Shelton here 2 for 3. Second hit batter for Dice. Nebraska scratched across 2 in the 6th to make it a 1-run game, and Dice has already given 1 back. Now Luke Heyman is 1 for 2 with an RBI. And Heyman pops it up to right field. Evans in. Caglianone draws the throw, but won't advance. 2 down.
So Grand Canyon has knocked off DBU, the 1 and 2 seeds, both knocked out at Tucson. Yeah, West Virginia, the 3 seed, 2-0. Grand Canyon will play them tonight. Would have to beat West Virginia twice. Kind of cool too for West Virginia. Randy Mazey announced this is his last year. He's done an outstanding job at West Virginia since he's been there. Now they're just 1 win away from going to a Super.
Same scenario in Fayetteville with the top 2 seeds ousted. Strike on the edge, nothing in 1. Cap foul. Tucson's opposite Chapel Hill.
They are. LSU North Carolina just getting underway right now.
So what you're saying is LSU is 2 wins away from hosting a Super. Line drive into left center field. Caglianone around third. Florida. And they get past the center fielder Silva. This is going to allow Colby Shelton to scamper home. From a run-scoring single to 2 runs. And another 90 feet for Tyler Shelnut. And the lack of focus for Nebraska coming out of the 2-hour rain delay.
This is going to score Caglianone regardless. And for Silva, I don't know what the rush necessarily is right here, because you know you're not going to throw anybody out at home plate. Cling single, so Cags is going to score with 2 outs. Silva's over there and plenty of time. Just kind of got crossed up. Didn't know whether he wanted to go backhand or get all the way around it. Instead, it goes right between the wickets, and Shelton comes around to score all the way from first base. 2 in the top half of the inning for the Huskers. Gators have answered back with 3.
Del Thomas pulls a foul. When's the last time you played croquet?
I have no idea. These poor people in the left field stands are 0 for 2 as far as balls in the stands. Can we do it this time? Yes, we can. All right. My man finally got it. Last time I played croquet, it's been a few minutes. How about you?
Yeah, but I passed by a croquet lawn not too long ago. I think it was in Baton Rouge. It was beautiful. Rounded up the middle. Del Thomas with an RBI single, scoring Tyler Shelnut. Bring Brody Donay to the plate. It's now 11-6. You spent time in the Cape. What's the fancy resort up there? The something bar inn?
We stayed with host families. I lived in somebody's basement when I was in the Cape. We weren't heading to whatever the bar inn is. I don't know. Found the bar when we were up there.
Chatham Bar's in. Beautiful croquet lawn up there. Rob Childress makes a pitching change. Dice is done. Donay will come to the plate to face Evan Borst. Back in Stillwater, and Evan Borst is the new pitcher in the game for Nebraska. Dice goes an inning and 2/3. Borst is a junior from Des Moines. Get a right matchup with Donay at the plate. 2-0 with a 5.84 ERA. Swing and a miss. 0-1 to Donay, who's got 2 hits to his name.
Boris can run it up there. It's a fastball that can get up 94, 95. Pretty fastball heavy, especially against lefties. Against righties, you will see some sliders.
Runner on the move, swing and a miss. The throw to second sails into center field. Dale Thomas will head to third. And Will Bolt thought perhaps batter's interference.
I didn't see it there. I mean, there doesn't have to be contact. It just has to alter. But the key is, does the hitter step across home plate? There's nothing there. I mean, it's a long finish right there to the swing for Donay. Maybe that's what Will's talking about, but the feet and the body definitely did not move across home plate. He did make contact with his back with a bat. I don't think it altered anything. It just kind of tapped him. And the other thing is, Karen wasn't saying anything.
But ultimately, to your point, the batter is allowed the batter's box, especially on a swing. Nothing doing after the conference. Well, Chathamar that's in has a 6-wicket croquet court on the south lawn.
6 wickets.
6 wickets.
That's kind of next level.
Come on now.
And I've seen some 4 wickets out there, but 6 spots, that's a different speed.
Just wear your whites. Donay goes down swinging, and Boris gets the job done. However, the Gators answer Nebraska's 2 spot with a quattro. It is all-wheel drive. We get 6 innings complete. Florida 11, Nebraska 6. Pokes will be on the field in due time. 11-6, Florida with the lead, top of the 7th. We know who's going to be on the mound for Oklahoma State. We got an issue with our pitcher Ryan Slater. He's holding his side. I guess an injury could occur anywhere, but is it weird that it's a left side for a right-hander?
Yeah, a little bit. He's going to try. I mean, this is last warm-up pitch. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to it right there. It looks like he's going to stay in. Kevin O'Sullivan turns his back and at least starts to wow. I don't know.
Does not.
No, he's not.
Yeah, that didn't look like the face of a guy who's going to continue. Here's the end of that warm-up pitch. It's going to be a minute because a Florida reliever hasn't even warmed up yet, and they'll be allowed all the time they need.
Tags it left field and launched by Wyatt Langford.
One of the coolest moments, for manager is a moment like now. That's being able to tell you you're with the major league team here. It's a year ago, you're playing for the Gators, and now here you are. So it's pretty cool. Nice work again.
Thank you. I'm excited to win some games.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty cool. Wyatt Langford, who in his freshman season had 4 at-bats, and then about 3 years later is playing in the big leagues with the defending national champs. This is what they lost from last year. So Langford, who was one of the best hitters in the country, Hurston Waldrop, who's already in AA. Brandon Sproat, who is already in AA, punched out 5 in a row at one point today. Where are the Rumble Ponies? Where are they at? That's where he is. Binghamton?
Binghamton, New York. The Rumble Pony is the pony you see on the carousel. They're made in Binghamton, New York.
Okay. Well, that's where he is.
Too much information.
Yeah, I just asked where the team
we
was.
had a 2-hour rain delay. Now we have no idea when this guy's going to get ready. So,
this guy's out there. Well, he's a Rumble Pony right now, and he punched out 5 in a row today and bumped 100. So, I think you can understand where this Florida pitching staff has struggled a little bit. Kate Fisher on for the 22nd time. Been a starter for some of the year, been a reliever for some of the year, so he's worked up to the point that they can take him deep. There's a lot of swing and miss. It's 67 strikeouts in 50 1/3. There's also a fair amount of balls. It's kind of a weird mix. Gives up more hits than innings pitched, but he strikes out a ton of guys, about 12 per 9.
So Slater leaves, and the other question becomes, should Florida hold on? Do they have enough high leverage guys to even make it to Monday?
I'm trying to see who we haven't seen. We haven't seen McNeely. He would potentially start. We haven't seen Philpott. Both have a few starts this year. We haven't seen Clemente. We haven't seen Menendez. We haven't seen Purnell. So, yeah, well, we haven't seen Neely. It's probably Brandon Neely that would start the next.
We saw Neely against Nebraska.
We saw Neely already, so I don't know if we're going to see him. Let's go to the bracket because it's a lot easier. It's just right in front of us, and all you got to do is read it. Back at it. Hello, Kate Fisher.
Imagine if we had hard jobs. 1-1 to Case Sanderson. And we were talking about Case Sanderson being from Nevada, Missouri. And there's an old ballpark down in that neck of the woods. I was off by a city, swing and a miss. Joe Becker Stadium was built in 1913. It's in Joplin, Missouri. It was all wood. It burned down twice. The first time in 36, the second time in 71. But they're still playing there. They obviously rebuilt it. The Joplin Miners. How's that for a minor league name? The Miners were a longtime minor league affiliate of the Yankees. The late Whitey Herzog played there. So did Mickey Mantle.
Still standing?
Rebuilt.
3.0.
Still there. 3.0. In fact, in April 1920, Ty Cobb and his Tigers headed back to Detroit, played an exhibition game against the Miners at Joe Becker Stadium. Josh Caron is 0 for 3. By the way, shout out to our very talented and discernible camera crew and others here on site with us who through 3 days have been questioning my pronunciation of the town of Nevada. I appreciate the questions. Here's back-to-back Ks as Caron goes down. Just hope it wasn't the guy in 420.
I knew that was coming. Oh, it gets bad when I can read your mind. That's a pretty good start for the left-hander. Camingo punch out to start. Now, if you're Florida, you're kind of counting out. Just get us to the next one, and we'll figure out what we do next. If you're the Huskers, you got to get it going there pretty quick.
Here's Gabe Swanson, and he fouls it off. Two-run home run for Swanson back in the first inning. His 8th of the year. 4th of this region. Fly ball down the right field line. Ashton Wilson chasing, can get there, and it's foul.
LSU with a few lineup switches today. Tommy White moved into leadoff spot. Stephen Milam, who has had quite a few weeks, bumped into the 2 spot for the Tigers, who have an early 2-0 lead.
It's the 0-2 to Swanson. Oh, goodness. Right off the thigh. Forrest Gump would call that the buttocks.
Yep, I think it got us in the cheek right here. If you're going to wear one, that's probably where you'd pick, but still doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. 2 strikeouts to start, and then one that might smart a little bit. Line drive right back up the middle. Fisher picks it up, throws to first. It's a 1-2-3 7th. Game summary, we all know what that does. It's going to summarize the game for you, and here's the way that it looks. Gabe Swanson stays out. That's 4 home runs so far here in Stillwater. Overbeek hit a 2-run shot himself. Then the Gator offense came alive. 5 in the second, 4 in the 6th.
That people questioning my clock now.
I feel like I showered praise on you a little too early.
No, my clock is right. Into the gap in left center field. That'll get down and cut off by Swanson, motoring his way to second. Is Michael Robertson. Gators lead by 5 and now have a runner on with nobody out in the 7th.
He can run. One gets in the gap. It doesn't necessarily need to get to the wall. Robertson didn't break stride. He's in there easily with a leadoff double. Now Curlin gets things started again at the top of the order.
To short, here's Carey. Advances the runner, 1 down.
Good read by Robertson too. Even though that's right at him, it's not hit hard. There's no chance that Dylan Carey's going to get it. Throw him out at third base. I would be shocked if Caglianone sees a pitch right here, and he will not. And this is why. Because when you hit balls 119 miles an hour off your bat, they don't like to throw to you very much anymore. But then after that, he hit one 110 and 106. That's just today, by the way. So we walked twice. Homer, double, ground out to second on a 110-mile-an-hour missile, and Jac Caglianone didn't get to see a pitch this at bat.
Friday 1 for 2, intentionally walked 3 times. Today 2 for 3, intentionally walked once.
So is my math right here, Campbell? He's had more intentional walks than non-intentional walks this year.
It'd be 23 intentional walks. Is that right?
So 50-50, 23 intentional, 46 total. That was close.
Line drive to left field. Robertson strolls home. 12-6 Florida.
Pretty good approach against a slider right there. Ashton Wilson, who got pushed up in the order after a 4-for-4 day with 3 doubles and a home run, went hitless yesterday. Was hitless today up until this point, but the single to left adds another for the Gators. Rob Childers out of that Nebraska bullpen. It looks like the gate is going to open in right field. I think the Huskers will make another move.
A lefty and a righty getting loose. We will see a southpaw. Nebraska will turn the game over to Kyle Perry, the senior left-hander coming out of the bullpen.
Dyken on the ground. He'll come home with it. Rivera tags Robertson. Boom! Lippett with the bases loaded. Deacon Lippett makes it 5-1 Florida. On the ground to second. And the Gators get their first College World Series championship.
Boom! I'll never forget that one. National championship for the Gators that year. For Kevin O'Sullivan, Omaha has become a mainstay. 16 times they were eligible in the postseason. 8 of those 16 they've ended up in Omaha. Last year did it, fighting through a regional where they lost the second game. Hello, Omaha. We got another one. Kyle Perry on right now. Millard South Patriot. Here comes the lefty.
Hello, Patriots. Played for Greg Geary, didn't he?
He did, in fact.
Finished second state in 2018. First year on campus in Lincoln was 2019. 101. Two hits for Colby Shelton. He's 2 for 3. Runner's on the move, and it's lifted high and deep to left field. Swanson back. It's gone. It is a 3-run home run for Colby Shelton. Second 3-run home run of this game for Florida, matching Caglianone's in the second.
Florida's a team doesn't hit for a high average. There's only one guy in this lineup that has a batting average above 300 coming in, and it's Caglianone at 413. But they could do this, and this is really what their offense has been based on a lot of the season. They hit a ton of home runs. Colby Shelton hits his 19th right there. It is a 9-run Gator lead.
Luke Heyman fouls one off. $15 runs on 14 hits for Florida. Going on with Danny Hall's Bumblebees right now.
Ramblin' Breck with a 3-run shot. 4-2 lead for Georgia Tech. They'd have to win tonight, win tomorrow.
That would set up a fun game 7 tomorrow night in Athens. This one's rocketed deep to right center field. Silva at the wall, leaps, brought it back into play. They say no, it's a home run. It is out of the ballpark, according to Joe Blumenauer. Back-to-back home runs for Shelton and Heyman. Silva did everything he could. Do you think it hit that railing right above the wall?
I think it's the only thing it could have hit. And the other thing is Silva didn't really argue it. I mean, he was there in time, and he timed the jump perfectly. Watch that railing. You can see right where it is. He goes all the way up. That's a really good call by Joe Blumenauer. Because this is not easy to see. It's the only place out there that it can hit something. You could see it at the top of that railing, not the glove. Came back in. Back-to-back home runs for the Gators. They'll take a look at it, but this one will stand.
I'm sure Blumenauer could also hear it. And the clang off of the metal railing that's at the base of the stairs versus hitting the leather. 406 feet off the bat of Colby Shelton, excuse me, of Luke Heyman. I'm gonna go ahead and write that in the book as a home run. Are you good with that?
Yep, I've got it in there with pen.
Got it in there with Teller. Second hit of the game for Heyman. Driven in a pair.
He got up there, but just couldn't get quite high enough before, and you could see it kind of hit the back of his glove, so it definitely hit that railing. Back-to-back jacks for the Gators.
I don't know the ground rules in this park, but those railings are placed in kind of an odd spot in the sense that they are on top of the wall, but they're no deeper than the outfield fence.
Oh, but they're above the yellow line.
Well, I don't see a yellow line.
Well, I'm envisioning a yellow line right now, and if there was one, they'd be above it.
So I would assume paying it forward, that means if it hits the concrete, it's gone too. Once again, I haven't Seeing the ground rules particular to this stadium. Couple more looks. That's my dance move that Linus Baker just used.
Singular.
Yep.
You got one dance move. That's one more than me.
This continues to be an offensive sight here in the postseason. Here it is.
This makes it official.
DJ, let's go. It usually works if you can pair that with the sprinkler, the lawnmower. I understand here in town they're building a dance floor at the Chili's.
Is that right?
Well, they're building something at the Chili's. I'm not sure. Sword 1 and 2.
Yeah, appear to only want to work after 10 o'clock.
Maybe they don't have a permit. Shelnup punched out. 1 down. Like I said, 2 down. Here's a thought on the Gators offense today.
There's been a lot of offense today for the Gators. 16 spot, 3 doubles, 3 home runs. Let's mix in a stolen bag, and if you hit 500 with runners in scoring position, you're usually going to win the game.
Del Thomas is the 8th batter of the inning.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
Yeah.
If LSU comes back and beats North Carolina twice, there will be a super regional in Red Stick when they thought they were definitely not going to be. That would get loud.
Yeah, they'd be the 2 seed. Grand Canyon, West Virginia, 3 and 4 seeds. Fly ball deep into the right field corner, and that one's gone. Just a 3rd home run of the season for Dale Thomas. And the offensive onslaught continues for Florida.
I mean, it's been everybody up and down his lineup, but the bottom third of Florida's lineup has been outstanding. Dale Thomas has 3 hits, a single, a double, a home run. He's scored twice. Brady Donay has 2 hits, 2 singles. He's scored. Michael Robertson has 2 hits. He scored 2 runs, and not afraid to go the other way. Dale Thomas hits his 3rd of the year. It's the 3rd of the inning for the Gators.
How many home runs have we had in this regional? We're nipping at Fayetteville's heels. The most home run in the regional this weekend. Jeremy Mills will have an update in about 9 minutes, but we were 5 behind Fayetteville 51 minutes ago. One, 2. Popped him up. Stokes was playing him to pull. Has to come over to the other side of the bag and puts it away. The Gators send 9 to the plate in the 7th. Push 6 runs across. 5 hits, including 3 home runs. All Florida. 2-0 regional 3-4 seeds this year include UConn, K-State, West Virginia, Oregon, and the Aces of Evansville, tied for the second most since we went to this format in 1999.
Evansville would have to beat ECU, I believe. So Evansville, ECU, that one's going on right now. ECU's got to beat them twice. ECU with a 6-2 lead at this point. How about out of Fayetteville? Either SEMO or K-State is going to a super.
If SEMO gets out of there, party at the Purple Crackle. It's right across the river from Cape.
I would assume that you have partied at the Purple Crackle at some point. Blake Purnell's a new arm for Florida. Low 3/4, a whole lot of sink, a little different look than you've seen from these Florida arms. I would think if you're the Gators, especially with this time of lead, you'd like Purnell to take you home. Finish this one, save the rest of that bullpen.
Statement/question.
Okay.
Florida scored 24 runs in game 2 of the finals last year.
Hold, please. Let me go find it.
I was overseas. Purnell 6.52 ERA, 21 strikeouts in 19 1/3. First offering low. Folks, I just want to explain what Kyle Peterson is doing right now. He turned back to that page in the scorebook, and instead of a normal human being who writes the score, runs, hits, errors in his book.
Nope. Counted them all.
You went and counted them.
I got to 23. Am I wrong?
I think you missed one. Jeremy Mills says 24.
Okay.
Outside of that game against LSU, this is the Gators' most runs in a tournament game since beating FAMU 19-0 in 2015. 24-4 was the final of that second game. How long did that thing last?
If I didn't write the score in my book, do you think I wrote the time in my book?
No. Ben Columbus is 1 for 1, and he sends this one into the left field corner. Shelnut runs out of space. That one's off of the top of the wall. That is a fair ball and a double for Columbus. Well, that barely stayed in the ballpark.
Yeah, that just kept going, too. Looked like it was going to go foul. Instead, it hit right next to the 330 sign down the left field line, about halfway up that wall. Cutting right till the very end. Missed a home run by about 4 feet. Instead, it'll go as a leadoff double here for the Huskers in the 8th.
This is Rhett Stokes, and the first pitch to Stokes is low and in. Blake Purnell was the winning pitcher in that 24-4 game. You remember that?
Can I check my book?
No, you don't look at your book. Jac Caglianone hit 2 home runs in that game. Wyatt Langford homer. Ty Evans, who's injured now for Florida, hit 2. BT Riopel homered. Here's a visit from Luke Heyman. Two 2-0 from Purnell. Nebraska being awfully patient with that sinker. Most runs allowed in the NCAA tournament in Nebraska history, 19 against Arizona State in 2007. 18 against Mississippi State in 1999. And 17 today. Kevin O'Sullivan out. This is interesting management. You've got an 11-run lead. You need to get 6 more outs. You also need to save arms, try and match up with Oklahoma State in the nightcap, and then turn around and win another game tomorrow. Hunter Jones is getting loose. And I'd assume if you're Kevin O'Sullivan, you're saying just throw strikes. Bottom of the order for Nebraska, Dylan Carey is the 7-hole hitter. Carey doubled his last time up. And a first pitch strike. UVA leads Mississippi State 3-2, top of the 4th inning in Charlottesville. Got him off his feet. 1-1. We are second to Fayetteville. 22 home runs hit here. 24 home runs hit in Fayetteville through 1 minute ago. Slider low and away. Clemson leads Coastal 3-1 in the 3rd.
By the way, Hunter Jones is warming up for the Gators right now.
How many innings has he thrown this year?
Officially 0.
Officially?
He has 1 appearance, 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned. Did not get an out.
Oh. Into right field, Wilson. Tagging from second is Columbus. One down. And a pinch hitter.
Clay Bradford.
There you go.
I think I get in there just before you.
You win.
Yep.
Senior from Humble, Texas. Bradford was playing Division II ball at St. Mary's in Texas before coming to Nebraska. His final year there, he hit .419 with 14 home runs. Was at Temple College prior to that. Pandemic shortened seasons there, and sends this one to left center field. Robertson on the run, Shelnut back, and that's off the base of the wall. Trotting home Columbus, headed to third Stokes. He'll stop him there, and it's a pinch hit run scoring double for Clay Bradford.
Well, the Huskers get some, or have some work to do, but this is a pretty good start. Clay Bradford gets the pinch hit. The lefty coming at it against The righty sidewinder, it's pretty easy to see the fastball out of his hand. He just about ran this one out of the ballpark. Double good enough to score one, and the Gators will go back to the bullpen.
Pinch hitter Tyler Stone had been announced. That'll be the end of the line for Purnell. Tell you about the new guy, what we know. Looking for his first recorded out of the season with Florida up 10. Let's take you back to this young Will Bolton 2002 College World Series against Clemson. Opening game of that series for Nebraska. Will Bolton sends this one to the gap. It gets past the center fielder, and he ends up with a triple. That was the top of the 8th. Drove in 2, tied the game at 10, but Bolt was stranded 90 feet away. Clemson ended up walking it off in the bottom of the 9th. 4 career College World Series games. Will Bolt ended up with 4 hits.
He could run a little bit.
He can scoot. How happy were the scalpers to have the Huskers there?
It was quite a scene when the boys in red showed up in Omaha, because they hadn't been there, well, ever. And then 3 times in the course of 5 years. The all-time doubles leader at Nebraska. 4 regionals, 3 supers, back-to-back trips to Omaha. Now he's trying to bring the Huskers back as a coach for the first time. They got a little work to do here.
Tyler Stone is pinch hitting. And the first pitch to Stone is low. Hunter Jones is a freshman from Anthony, Florida. Behind in the count 2-0.
1 appearance on the year. Did not record an out. 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned. Gave up a double and a walk. I'm shocked in this situation that you bring a kid in that hasn't retired an out, and Stone isn't at least taking a strike right there, because he just swung a ball through.
Got underneath it. Curlin and Wilson. Curlin calling everybody off. 2 down. Nobody will advance. And Overbeek coming up. Overbeek hit a 2-run home run in the second. He is 1 for 4. Lined into center field. That'll get down. 1 run is home. Here comes the second. The throw is cut up by Caglianone. 2-run single from from Joshua Overbeek.
Well, chip away, chip away. You never know. 2-out single right here, and Huskers got 3 more back here. If you're Florida, honestly, the only thing you're worried about from Jones right now is just throw strikes. And work under the assumption that even if they hit it, at some point they're going to hit it at somebody enough to where you can bring this thing home.
Arm preservation situation.
Yep.
Here's Sanderson. He's doubled and struck out twice. Shelnut on the run. Closes the Husker half of the 8th, but they put a crooked number up there. 3 runs. on 3 hits and 1 left stranded. We got a slugfest going on here. Take you to the 7th inning. And Florida with 3 home runs in the inning. Colby Shelton with a 3-run home run. Luke Heyman followed. They went back to back. And then Dale Thomas with just his 3rd home run of the season. And the Gators, that with Jac Caglianone in the 2nd, have had 124 home runs this season. Snap the helmet back. Let's go. Run out of shotgun, boys. 2 home runs behind Fayetteville for the most in a regional this weekend. Jac Caglianone likes the soundtrack.
He's going to see a new arm. Ty Horn's in for the Huskers right here. 6th pitcher that Nebraska has used today.
First pitch fastball for a strike. I'm not throwing gasolina. It's at 96 on the board.
6 to start.
Michael Robertson is 2 for 4 today. Doubled and scored his last time up. Slices this one down the left field line. 1 foul by Mutch. Tipped into the catcher's mitt for strike 3. And now Cade Curlin. Breaking ball, strike 1.
Mid-90s with that hook, man. Horn's an arm you got to be excited about in Lincoln, just a freshman.
Yeah, I'd say so. Painted the black with 95. That's strike 3 on Curlin. Back-to-back Ks for Ty Horn out of Halstead, Kansas, and Eisenhower High School.
That's 2 quick ones right there. Now you get Cags coming up with nobody on and 2 outs, facing a guy throwing 95. We want to watch this one.
Yeah. Caglianone swings at the first, and he pops up a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Or 95, depending on your gun. I see the glass half full of velo. 1-2-3 frame worked by Horn. Last chance for the Huskers. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Tom McCall with you. It's a 17-9 lead for Florida. Most runs scored in a regional game since 2015 when they beat Florida A&M 19-0.
Bit of hidden ball trick work, by the way, in the Clemson Coastal game.
No.
Picked a guy off of third base. That'll get Runes and Berkey going.
Gene Stevenson's got to love that. Wichita State pulled it off against who?
Miami. It was actually Miami that pulled it off against Wichita State.
Like I said, well, Stevenson's son that got picked off.
That was his brother.
Like I said, it was his brother.
You are on it.
Close enough for horseshoes. The beauty of the hidden ball trick that Miami pulled off was the involvement of the bullpen.
And that one works once.
Yeah.
And they picked the right time. The bullpen started jumping like the ball was going down there. It was Phil Stevenson that was the runner, and the look on his face was a little bit confused.
Leadoff walk for Josh Caron. So that happened in what game today?
Clemson Coastal. Going on right now. We picked him off of third base.
Ripped into the left field corner. Off the fence and a hop. Swanson's got another extra base hit. He homered in the first and now a double in the ninth.
Gabe Swanson doesn't want to go home quite yet. This 2-week run has been too good. He had one home run heading into the Big Ten tournament. He's had 7 cents. Hit another one today in the first. He's homered in every game here in Stillwater for the Huskers.
And now Ben Columbus. No relation to Wayne Gretzky. He is 2 for 2. He's walked twice. He has scored twice. LSU leads North Carolina 3-1 in the 4th. Tigers with a win could force a Game 7 tomorrow. Hunter Jones gets a visit. And we'll hand over the baseball. One-plus inning of work for Hunter Jones. Allowing a couple of hits. Tell you about the new guy after this. Landon Russell out of the bullpen for Florida in the 9th inning. Sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama. Facing Ben Columbus. Columbus is 2 for 2. He's drawn 2 walks. Russell played at Russell County High School. Must have been a big deal around there. Before heading to junior college. Limited action this season. Just 2 innings of work. Pulled to first. Caglianone scoops, checks, and will take it to the bag. RBI groundout scores Caron. Russell was a two-way player at Gulf Coast Community College last year. Hit .300 with 6 home runs and 3 triples. And at first glance, it looks like his offensive numbers last year may have been better than his pitching numbers.
He's got a few starts this year offensively. He's had 7 starts. Just 3 for 26 offensively.
What's the roster size? 27?
27.
Into the left field corner. This one's off the fence. Stokes motors into second. Nebraska keeps chipping away. 3 in the 8th. 2 more here in the 9th. It's a 6-run game.
Aggressive at bats for the Huskers in the 8th and the 9th, even though they were down so much. They get 3 in the 8th, now 2 in the 9th, and keep everything going. Red Stokes 1 for 3 on the day coming in, has scored 2 runs. Short hops that left field wall and adds another for Nebraska.
Swing and a miss on the first offering to Dylan Carey. One and 2. Russell County High School was the home to the Rasmus brothers, Colby and Corey. Both made it to the big leagues. Strike 3 for Carey. And Nebraska down to its last out. Second plate appearance for Bradford. Should Florida get this last out before Nebraska can complete a comeback? Well, regardless, there'll be at least 55 minutes between this game and the regional final. Oklahoma State awaiting the winner. Might be a hair more, but we should be smooth sailing weather-wise for the rest of the way after a 2-hour and 4-minute delay earlier today.
Turned pretty nice.
Yeah.
Blew all the humidity out of here. It was actually chilly for a minute. 0-2 start right here. Russell's been leaning on that slider.
You have to throw down to first to finish the strikeout and finish the game. And Florida with a 17-11 win. 17 runs on 16 hits for the Gators. For the Huskers, 11 runs on 11 hits and 3 errors. And Nebraska's season comes to an end here on this Sunday afternoon. Florida will have a chance to extend its season as they take on Oklahoma State tonight.
Well, survive and advance. That's all you're trying to do if you're Florida. I think you would have rather done it without using 6 arms today. But at any rate, got them through to this point. We'll see who the Gators go with. We would assume that Oklahoma State goes Carson Binge. Coming up next should be about 7:30 local, 8:30 Eastern. We should have a good crowd. If last night was any indication, they should pack them in for that one. Weather should be perfect, and we're not done yet here in Stillwater.
Let's take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. This dude, Jac Caglianone, was added again. He is homered in consecutive games, and Caglianone's to a 3-run shot in the second gave the Gators the lead, and they never looked back. It was 7-4 at that point. Florida added 4 in the 6th, 6 in the 7th, and they cruise. Will Bolt's team will hit the reset button, get ready for their summer. Their tremendous close to the year comes to an end here. We'll keep you posted on a network designation for our night game. You can find it on ESPN Plus and the Watch ESPN app for sure. For now, Tom Hart and Kyle Peterson. We'll see you in about an hour for Florida and Oklahoma State.